Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Answers Life. I hope everyone is doing great today. Now, I noticed uh, there's been a growing number of, I'll just say, African Americans or FBAs, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, that are inquiring on moving to Alabama. And you guys want to know, rather or rather not, Alabama is a good place for for blacks to live. Now, when I say blacks, I'm talking about FBA, Foundational Black Americans. I mean, respectfully, I can't speak for Africans. I can't speak for Caribbean. I can only speak for Black America because that's who I am. Respectfully. Now, for those of you of other ethnicities that want to know rather or rather not Alabama is a good place for you to live, again, I can't speak for none of you guys out there because I'm not you. I'm not you. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Asian. I'm black. So again, not to be disrespectful to other ethnicities, well, actually to be respectful to other ethnicities, I don't want to step outside my lane and speak for other ethnicities of people because what other ethnicities of people experience here in America is going to differ than what black Americans experience here in America. So, with all that being said, I'm going to make a video which is probably going to be, well, I'm going to make probably a 2 to 3 series video talking about whether Alabama's good for black Americans or not. I mean, I was going to try to do it on one video, but I can't because, for one, the video will be way too long. And secondly, there'll be a lot of important pieces of information that I will be leaving out. And I don't think that's fair. And also, to make an accurate determination on whether or whether or not Alabama is going to be good for you, there's a lot of things that I feel people need to look at before moving somewhere, whether it be Alabama or somewhere else. So on this first video, I am going to discuss the communities that have the largest affluent black population. So let's get to it. I had to get some notes here because I want to keep my facts straight. And some of these places I'm going to be discussing, I've been to these places. I have these places on my channel. So feel free to go on my channel and check them out. I'll let you know what they are. Now, for starters, the black population in the state of Alabama is 25.4%. Alabama is on the list of the most blackest states to live in the United States. So let's start there. So anyhow, the majority. So these cities, like I said, these are the cities with the most affluent blacks, living in them. So, Homewood, Alabama. Now, honestly, I don't think I did a video of Homewood, Alabama, and I don't think I did. But anyways, Homewood, Alabama is a southeast suburb of Birmingham, Alabama. The population is 26,414 people, and the black population is 19.7%. And then you got Hoover, Alabama, which again is it's a southern suburb of Birmingham, Alabama. The population of Hoover is 92,606 people. The black population is 16.8%. Then you got Madison, Alabama, which has got a population of 56,933 people. The black population is 14.7%, and Madison, Alabama is a suburb of Huntsville, Alabama. I so anyhow, then you got Auburn, Alabama, which is located an hour east of Montgomery, and I want to say it's maybe a half hour, give or take, west of Columbus, Georgia. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Alabama, Auburn, Alabama is a college community, Auburn University, for those of you that follow sports. Auburn's got a population of 76,143 people, and the black population is 18.3%. And then you got Huntsville, Alabama, which right now is the largest city in Alabama. It's the largest. Huntsville used to be the smallest city in Alabama, but now it's the largest city in Alabama. The population is 225,000 people. 225,564 people to be exact. And the black population is 29%. Now, I got Hoover, Madison, Auburn, and Huntsville all on this channel. So if you want to see some footage of those cities, I have all those cities on this channel. Now, if you're looking, so yeah. So now let's discuss some housing prices. Now, when it comes to rents in these cities, I tried to look up the average rent prices, but the numbers that they were giving me seemed like they were a little low. So I would say if you want to live in any of these cities that I just discussed, I would say for a decent, I would say for a apartment or maybe a small house in a decent neighborhood, I would say be prepared to pay at least $1,200 a month. Now I could be off. Maybe it might be a little cheaper, and maybe it might be a little bit more expensive. But I would say off the top of my head, be prepared to pay at least $1,200 a month to live in a decent part of any of these cities if you're going to rent. Now, if you're going to purchase, if you're going to live in Homewood, Alabama, in order to buy anything decent, I would say be prepared to spend at least $350,000. If you want to live in Hoover, Alabama, I would say be prepared to spend at least $315,000. For Madison, Alabama, be prepared to spend at least $245,000. And if you want to purchase a home in Auburn, be prepared to spend at least $220,000 for something decent. And in Huntsville, I would say for something decent, at least $180,000. Now, all the cities that I just named off, I do understand that the housing prices, whether you're renting or you're purchasing, could get a little steep. So let me read you off some alternatives where you can live to where you're still close to some of these cities. So let's say you landed a job in Homewood, Alabama, or in Hoover, Alabama, which are both suburbs of Birmingham, Alabama. So if you get a job in any of those two cities, or if you get a job in the greater Birmingham, Alabama region, period, let's say you don't have the funds to live in Hoover or Homewood, Alabama, and most people don't really want to live in Birmingham. I mean, the downtown area of Birmingham is nice. They've redone it, but when it comes to Birmingham, a lot of people don't really want to live in Birmingham. Let's just keep it real. So, with that being said, there's a smaller city called Clanton, Alabama. If you jump on Interstate 65 from let's say Birmingham and you travel south about an hour south on 65, you will reach Clanton, Alabama. Now, Clanton, Alabama is a small city, about 8,000 population, give or take. And it does have a sizable black population. It's a fairly diverse city. And I think that would be a wonderful city to live if you're trying to save money on housing. But at the same time, you will still be within an hour of the greater Birmingham area to have access to some of the better paying jobs, especially if you're college educated. Because these cities I just read off, another thing I'm going to add is I would suggest people who are going to move to these cities, I would suggest that you have a specialized college degree. Like if you have a college degree in either financing, maybe tech, or you have a college degree for something in the medical field, I would say if you have a degree in one of those type of fields, these cities that I just named off that I'm discussing would be good places to move. Now, if you're blue collar, you can move to these cities if you want to. You might have a harder time you might have a harder time finding affordable housing in some of these cities. But I guess it's possible depending on what type of blue collar work you're doing or how many hours you're going to work. And on another video, I will have a list of places to live that are good places to live if you're a blue collar worker. But this video is for more affluent type living situations. So let's keep going. So, anyways, so let's say you get a job in the greater Huntsville area, which Madison, Alabama is a suburb of Huntsville. So you get a decent paying job in Madison or somewhere in the greater Huntsville area. Again, at first you may not be able to afford to live in Madison, or you don't want to spend you don't want to pay that Madison, Alabama price tag. So where can you go to where you can save some money? Well, my suggestion would be, if I were you, I would check out, what's that city called? I would check out Decatur. Now, Decatur, Alabama is about a 20-minute drive from Madison, and it's about a half-hour drive from Huntsville. So Decatur, Alabama, once again, it does have a decent black population, and the housing prices in Decatur are gonna be a little cheaper compared to Huntsville and significantly cheaper than Madison. So if you can't afford to live in Madison, Alabama, or any of the Huntsville suburbs for that matter, and you don't want to live in the city of Huntsville itself, then go check out Decatur, Alabama. So let's see. Now, let's say you land a job in Auburn, Alabama. And again, Auburn, Alabama is not exactly cheap. So maybe you can't afford to live in Auburn, or you don't want to pay the Auburn price tag. Well, one alternative to Auburn, which this city is very close to Auburn, in fact, it's right by Auburn, is Opelika. Now, Opelika is not exactly a bargain either, but it is a little cheaper than Auburn. Now, Opelika does have a section of the city that, that the neighborhoods are a little, they're a little rough looking. I'll just put it like that. which I do have Opelika, Alabama on this channel, so feel free to go check that video out. I got Decatur, Alabama on this channel too, so feel free to go check that video out as well. So yeah, Opelika, Alabama is a little cheaper than Auburn. Now, if you really want to save some money on housing, I would say a better alternative when it comes to saving money on housing is go check out Tallahassee. Now, I do got Tallahassee, Alabama on this channel. Go check it out. But Tallahassee, Alabama does have a decent black population. The population of Tallahassee is a little over 5,000 people, if I can remember clearly. Housing prices along with rent prices in Tallahassee is significantly lower compared to Opelika or Auburn. In Tallahassee, I want to say it's about a half hour west of Auburn. So go check that city out if you get a job in Auburn or the greater Auburn area, but you don't want to live in the Auburn area because maybe it's too expensive or whatever. So go check out Tallahassee in that case. And again, these cities I just named off are idea cities for people that have a white collar education to where you're going to potentially be making, if not close to six figures, a six-figure income. So these cities I just named off, I guess if you're working a higher paying blue collar position, you may be able to afford these cities I just named off. But other than that, these cities are more so for people that are making, I would say, closer to that six-figure income bracket. And the only reason why I named off some of the lower price cities is because sometimes you get out of college, and although your occupation has got the potential of a six-figure income, sometimes when you first get in, you don't earn six figures. You might only make, let's say, 60. Or even if you do make six figures out the gate, some people are financially savvy, or at least they try to be. So they don't want to live as if they're making six figures. They might make six figures, but want to live like they're making 60 because, they want to be wealthy one day. So that's why I named off lower price cities like Clanton and Decatur and Tallahassee. All right, folks. That's gonna do it for the video. I don't want to make it too long because if I do, y'all will start clicking off. So stay tuned for my second series. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about on that video. You'll find out when you find out. Stay blessed.